Listen, you know how much I love a candid conversation, and today is no different. But I want to be clear, today we are talking about suicide, surviving it, and silencing the shame of what it feels like when you get to a point where you feel like death would be better than the life you are living. This is going to be a heavy conversation, so I want to give you the opportunity now to make the decision of who's watching or not watching this episode with you. But we're having this conversation because more than 1 million people attempt suicide every year in this country. 1,045,000 die from suicide. So how do we deal with the aftermath? Who do the survivors of suicide and their families turn to for help? And how do we silence the shame surrounding suicide and mental health? We're talking about that today on Portia. I want to thank you for joining us today. Suicide and mental health are tough topics to discuss, and perhaps that's why they're often swept under the rug. But this issue is just too important, so there's no sweeping anything under the rug today. My guest today has battled her own demons when it comes to this issue, and she's made it her mission to empower and educate communities on mental health and wellness. Shanti created Silence the Shame to put a spotlight on suicide prevention after a life filled with heartbreaking chapters of her own. She is a highly respected music executive and a passionate advocate for suicide survivors. Please welcome Shanti to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. I know this has been a lifelong journey for you in so many ways. Can we start just with childhood, with what happened to your father?
Absolutely, Portia. So I was 7 months old, and I had a sister that was 8.5 years older, and my brother was 5.5 years older. And one Sunday afternoon, my mom went down. She was at my grandmother's house, who lived nearby, and they went down to tell my dad that dinner was ready, and found my father on the side of my sister and brothers in their room on the side of the bed. And he had suffered a gunshot wound to the head and had taken his own life.
And so obviously that rocks any family to its core. How did your mother deal with this in terms of having 3 children who now had to deal with the aftermath of this?
My mother really turned to her faith, and she was a devout Catholic growing up, and so, but I would see her crying a lot in her room. She never went to counseling, never went to therapy. And you know, sometimes in African American communities, we turn inward.
Right.
And we don't allow people to come and support us from an outward perspective. We don't talk about it. We don't share our secrets and so forth. And so she leaned on her faith, but I really wish she had have gotten counseling for herself and for our family.
Do you feel like that's where the sense of shame started, just even as a child? I guess you guys didn't talk about where Dad was,
Absolutely.
right?
It's funny, once I got older, my sister and I would share stories. My sister said, oh, I told my friends that Dad had a heart attack. Or I would say, oh, he got shot, but I wouldn't say that he shot himself. So anything other than taking his own life.
Right. So let's talk about then, as you get older, you go on to have this incredible career in the music industry as an executive, influencing artist, high-powered executive. But I imagine there was a lot of pressure that came in that role, especially in the 80s and the 90s when you were one of the few women doing the work you were doing. Talk about the impact that had on your sense of mental health and wellness.
Absolutely. So things were good at first when I first started out here at LaFace Records, and then when I moved to New York City and started dealing with a little more adversity in the big city, I remember uttering the words, maybe I should just kill myself. And it scared me, Portia, because I thought, you know, there was a little thing in the back of my head, maybe something is wrong with me since my dad took his own life. And that's when I first went to counseling to really talk about my father's suicide in my early 30s.
Wow. You had never had any counseling before then?
Never.
So I commend you for doing that then in your 30s. Obviously that was helpful to talk about it.
It was my sister really encouraging me, because she went to counseling when she was in college, and she put herself through Georgia State University, and she said that was the only thing that really had saved her life, was to deal with the trauma from her past. And so I applaud my late sister now. She's since passed away, but she really encouraged me to get the help that I needed.
So then you found yourself in a situation, was it about 10 years ago, where your best friend?
It was 2014, almost 10 years ago.
What happened to, this was one of your closest friends.
One of my closest friends. We've been friends since the 6th grade, growing up here in Southwest Atlanta. And I talked to her the day before it happened, and she had told me how much she loved me, and I realized now she was telling me, goodbye. And so about 12 hours later, I had gotten a call. I was on vacation in Switzerland, and I got a call that she had shot herself the same way that my father did. And of course, I blamed myself, not knowing what had happened, but it sent me in a downward spiral afterwards.
Absolutely. What do you, I mean, I guess because at that point then you relive what happened to your father, and even though you were just 7 months old,
it's still so many questions.
It's still so many questions. Where did that put you? Where did that leave you emotionally?
It left me emotionally depleted, Portia. I had started withdrawing from friends and family, and even though I was still high functioning, I was really turning inward, and I was sad, I was anxious, I was depressed, and one night in September of 2015, I really heavily contemplated taking my own life. I had counted up all the pills in my medicine cabinet.
Oh, my goodness.
And it wasn't that I wanted to die, Portia. I wanted the pain to go away. And I just didn't know how to do that.
And that's that darkness. And I think if we're all candid, we all know someone, or we've all been in that space at some point in our lives. You know, full transparency here, where you just feel like, I can't breathe anymore. So maybe death would be better than this. But it's not the death. It's just the escape that you want.
It is. And I almost was hearing voices in my head that said, kill yourself, kill yourself. And so I got out of the house that night and started driving around. And I ran into a friend, and that was nothing but God, because I'm a spiritual person. I felt like God had placed a friend in my pathway, and she convinced me to call my sister.
So you told the friend, well, this is what you were
dealing with? I said, I don't feel like myself. I don't want to be here anymore.
Okay.
And she was like, well, okay, we're going to deal with this. And she knew that my sister was the person to call, and she convinced me to call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, which is 1-800-273-TALK. Now you can dial 988.
988, yeah.
And then I also texted my pastor, Reverend Dr. Raphael G. Warnock, also Senator Warnock, and he said, you know what, I'll pray with you, but you're going to get some help. You must go to the doctor. And so that's when I saw a psychiatrist and started my antidepressants.
And that's when the advocacy also started, not long after that, right? Because your decision to speak up is sort of the hardest point in that darkest hour to move ahead. So praise God for the friend that you ran into as well. That is part of what you want Silence the Shame to be about, right? Explain.
Absolutely. Yeah, so Silence the Shame started as a hashtag. It was me kind of digital journaling or speaking openly on social media. And then I found that so many of my friends and family members and colleagues from the entertainment industry were hitting me, you know, in the DM or texting me and saying, oh my God, thank you for opening up, or I've had these thoughts.
Right.
And so we formed our organization in 2017, and we've been educating communities ever since.
Were you surprised that so many people who are living these lives where everything just looks like it's okay, Shanti Das, were coming to you privately?
I was incredibly surprised, Portia, and we talked a little bit about shame, right? No one wants to be felt like something is wrong, right? And so stigma is still so prevalent in our communities, but by me opening up and sharing, it was giving other people the courage, if you will, and empowering them to say, you know, it's okay not to be okay, and it's okay to get help.
And that was the advocacy component starting right there. All right. This is an amazing story, and I'm glad and grateful you're sharing it here. When we return, our conversation about suicide prevention continues. But have you heard of postvention? Dr. Tartt says it's something we all need to understand and embrace, and he joins this very important discussion when we return. A sobering reality indeed. I thank you for coming back to this conversation. We're talking to Shanti Das, a celebrated music industry veteran who established Silence the Shame. That's a nonprofit dedicated to eliminating the shame and stigma of mental health challenges that lead to suicidal thoughts and attempts. And joining the conversation now is psychologist Dr. Tartt. He says support is just as important for the survivors of suicide as it is for those contemplating it. Dr. Tartt, I want to welcome you back to season 2 of Portia. We appreciate your contributions.
Thanks for having me.
And you mentioned something in our background interview, postvention. I'd never heard of that. Tell us more.
When you think about something like this happening, who's there to not only support the person who's attempted this? A lot of times they're not able to go through it, or they're saved by grace. Who supports them? And then the family that's affected. And so that looks like an immediate response. And then then linking them up with support group, and then mental health services, and then education. How do you grieve? How do you get over? What are you supposed to do? What is the right way?
Right. And especially, and I think with every age group, right? Because we all know of the challenges that children are going through. Seems like middle school and high school now seems so hard when we think about how many young people are really struggling. And then as adults, I mean, every age group is dealing with it.
It's something that needs structure and direction versus allowing people to try to figure this out on their own. It's overwhelming. First of all, they need a community and a tribe just to give them the support that they need, and then being able to link them up without having to go through so many ropes. Anyone that tells you it's so much red tape and so much, and there should be a system that should guide them to everything that they need. And you talked about kids. What we know coming out of the pandemic is that a lot of kids were affected, and this is what's happening. But where are the resources for those
Where
families?
does a parent start?
Right.
Where do friends start? I mean, how do we?
Well, one, I like if you have insurance, which is a luxury for a lot of people.
Right.
You can start with the member hotline. Hey, I need connections for A, B, and C for this reason, and member advocates will reach out to find providers because there's still a wait list, but they understand the urgency and they will triage that depending on the insurance company. And then two, there are a number of courses out there to teach you, all right, just psychoeducation about grief, how to identify where you are and what to do, but also being able to get services for the person and their families. You'd be surprised how many people there's an attempt and then there's no follow-up to what's happened. And
we just, okay, we're going to deal with this.
Which is stressful for the entire unit.
And we're just going to keep moving, right? And then I know you talk a lot about, too, the importance of memorialization and remembrance.
Every year, and every psychologist goes to this, we get a flood of referrals around anniversaries and birthdays of loved ones who are not here. So Christmas, holidays. I see a number of college students, unfortunately. This is when they will be starting XYZ university, and you have to actually help them plan for that day because it's so heavy. Because a lot of times in isolation, you have to help them figure out what is it that you need to get not only through this day, but through life.
Yeah.
Through life.
That is, oh my gosh, that just resonated so much with me. It is, September Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. My father took his own life in September, September 26th, and so that is a day that I actually need to prepare for, right, and kind of wrap my head and brain around it. And the good news is I know how to cope healthier now, whether it's calling my therapist or getting with friends and family or talking to my friend Tanya, who's coming on shortly, who has My Life as a Gift. You really have to have that support system around you. And the last thing I'll just say is oftentimes people who have family members that complete suicide, they are embarrassed to celebrate. I want to encourage everyone to remember that
you can
loved
still
one.
celebrate the birthday,
still celebrate,
the milestones,
right? That was
and you talk
your
about
loved
that
one.
in your book too, right?
Yes.
Why is that so important in terms of breaking away from that stigma of shame?
It's so important because I tell people, suicide is the way that it happened, but your loved one is still to be loved and celebrated.
Right.
And 9 times out of 10, most people that take their own lives or contemplate, they don't want to die. They just want the pain to go away.
And we talk about, I've heard, I think you and others talk about this issue. We talk about how other people died, right?
Yes.
If it was a cancer or, a car accident.
What have you.
It is okay to say that this is what happened.
And it's okay to say that someone died by suicide. And you can still uplift their memory and spirit and celebrate that loved one.
It's the only way to get emotional distance from it. When we don't talk about it, and as a people, we don't talk about it, right? When we don't talk about it, it's how we complicate grief. That's an actual diagnosis, complicated grief, complicated bereavement, and it's because we're not talking about it. But we have to make it easy for consumers to be able to do that. How do you talk about it? How does an 8-year-old talk about it? How does a grandma?
Because you've got to give these young folks the words.
Absolutely.
Well,
and the space and the agency.
Where's the script?
And that's why we're going to silence the shame around it, so you can celebrate your loved one.
I love it. We are going to silence. We are.
Yes.
You are silencing the shame. All right. Up next, we'll meet a mother and son who are using their near tragedy to help others in need. You're going to hear their incredible story of how they, too, are silencing the shame and how this young man's life is truly a gift. I want to thank you for coming back to the table. We're talking about suicide prevention, and our next guests have a really powerful story to share about silencing the shame. This is Tanya and Devin Walden, and I know your experience was a very personal one, but it's turned into a gift and a blessing for all of us. Tell us about what happened to your son.
My son is Devin, and he had a normal life growing up. When he was in college, is when all of this took place. There was no previous mental health diagnosis. He just kind of unraveled, and I couldn't find enough help fast enough. And before I knew it, I'm on the phone with him, and he attempts suicide by way of gunshot to the head. I was on the phone begging him to come home. So, you know, that's the shortest version that I can offer, but it was a tedious journey just trying to get services like the Friday night before.
May I ask, how far away were you from him?
He had gone probably about 25 minutes away.
Okay, so
but
this was...
because he left the house dressed, I was concerned. Well, it's taking him a long time just to go to the store.
What do you do when you hear a gunshot go off and you know what your son has just done? And how?
I think I stopped breathing.
Of course.
I think I stopped breathing.
Devin,
So not funny.
Devin, what can you tell us about? I don't want to dwell too much in that moment because you're here and you have a testimony, right?
No, that is my testimony. You know, I guess I was supposed to survive for a reason.
Amen.
You know, every day is a battle, so I guess the, you know, aftermath of everything, having people like Shanti and my mom with Silence the Shame in My Life is a Gift to push and advocate for people who actually need post-vention. So me having the help that I needed, I guess, after I attempted suicide, I mean, I'm here for that reason to,
Absolutely.
You know.
And with your age group in particular, where teenagers, 20-somethings, especially coming out of this pandemic, Doc, you talked about that impact. What is it that you try to say and communicate and share with people about how important it is to get past that darkest hour?
Well, there's nothing cool about suicide. And I have to tell people that because people see my face and think that, oh, well, he's living life today. I still wake up and go through, I don't know, mental battles, mental health. It's a thing. Mm-hmm. You know, for me to get my word out there to let people know it's okay to, I don't know, say that you're hurting.
Right.
Say that you're mentally, you know, going through anything.
But even through that hurt, you created My Life as a Gift, together.
Yes.
Tell me how important, and Mom, I know this is tough. So, Devin, tell
My
me.
Life as a Gift happened really just, I was desperate for help. Mm-hmm. And because I couldn't find it fast enough and they weren't paying attention to just me, I just created the name. So I'm kind of a one-band show with him tagging along.
A One Mother's Missions, and
Shanti has truly made My Life as a Gift more popular than I am behind the scenes. But I can easily say that it has influenced some things to where now we have Dee Dee Hirsch with a curriculum for survivors of suicide attempt. Mm-hmm. And because of that initiative, I'm trying now, from My Life as a Gift, to put that into facilities so that it can be...
make sure that the resources are out there.
Because there was nothing for people who wake up alive.
And that speaks to, just in the minute that we have left here, the importance of having those resources and making sure people understand that, right? Shanti or Doc?
Absolutely.
The studies show that most people have regret right after an attempt. Right? And it's not something that's long gone. We think that this is a diagnosis, but a lot of people, it's just a moment where they're overwhelmed. If you can get them through that moment, through prevention, like getting guns off the streets and different legislation, but being able to come right in and help them with the issue that has caused them to feel overwhelmed. Without doing that, you're doing them a disservice. So we have to do it before, right. Reactionary, and then postvention to be able to help.
That postvention to me is just one of the greatest takeaways. Dr. Tartt, Shanti Das, Devin, Brother Devin, what a blessing you are, and your mother, Tanya. I thank all of you for your advocacy and your willingness to help us push past the shame of what so many folks, so many of us have dealt with. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. If you need help, call 988 to reach the National Suicide Hotline 24 hours a day. My Life is a Gift and Silence the Shame are other resources you can use.